biblical genocide. There has always been an attempt by the world powers to genocide the population before the coming of the Messiah, the deliverer, or before the delivery of the people. The devil uses these world powers to thwart the plan of God by genociding the population in an attempt to stop the plans of God. And this is seen in the scriptures, and there's multiple accounts of this and testimony of two witnesses to be able to give a fulfillment of the law that the matter is established. In Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15, it says, "One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, shall the matter be established." The following are two scriptural accounts of two witnesses. First, the account in Egypt, where before the deliverer Moses came to deliver the people, there was a genocide. In the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 15, it says, "And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one of was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah." In verse 16 it says, "And he said, When you do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him, but if it be a daughter, then she shall live." And the second witness is during the time of the first coming of Christ, where the news had spread and traveled about the coming of a deliverer, and that the people were going to be set free, and the king had ordered the killing of the children and genociding in an attempt to stop the plan of the delivery. Matthew chapter 2 verse 3 says, "When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and the scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea. For thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah? For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared." So Herod was looking for a time to be able to find out when, at the age of the children, he would need to genocide the children. So you have an account of Herod and an account of Pharaoh, which are two witnesses and testimonies of people trying to kill the deliverer. Matthew chapter 2 verse 16 says, "Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise man." We are living in one of the largest genocides in the history of mankind right now. Strategically, through foods, toxins, vaccines, viruses released, war, and famines that are being pushed into the earth, we see that the largest amount of deaths culminating in history are coming to a conclusion now, which will end with a nuclear holocaust. And the devil knows this. The devil knows that the time is short and that he's pushing to be able to kill off a mass kill of the population before the Messiah comes. And we look to another account of this prophetically that's fulfilled in the end times in the book of Revelation chapter 12. We see the account of the devil trying to devour Christ as he was born and how that had failed. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 4 and 5 and 6, it says, "And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days." This woman is the prophetic Israel, the church, which gathers in the end times for the next Exodus, who goes on the delivery into the wilderness. And that genocide is occurring during that time. But the woman will be protected when she goes into the wilderness. And we see that the devil trying to genocide goes after the woman. In the following verse, in Revelation chapter 12, verse 13, it says, "And when the dragon saw that he was cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child." So we know that the devil right here is trying to stop the deliverer from coming and mounts up a siege against the kingdom of God and makes war. In these last days, with the amount of death that will come through this, it will be a large-scale genocide. A large portion of the population of the earth will be destroyed. They will die through war, famines, pestilences, and much more of the things that are written. But the genocide isn't coming from the hands of the Christians who are at the camp. The genocide is coming through the wickedness of the devil, who's using these things to kill off the population and bring about the mark of the beast to maintain control, as he's going to lose control over the earth to Christ. And so what we're looking at right here is the prophecy in the end times of the next genocide, a biblical genocide that will occur. And this is the prophecy of the biblical genocide.